After a ding-dong top-of-the-table clash against Manchester City, somehow, some way, we came away victorious, and we still find ourselves top of the table with 13 games remaining. And with the exception of the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United, we have a fairly favourable run heading into the final games of the season. And with our dream of another FA Cup final well and truly in our hands, these players have got the opportunity to write themselves into Southampton folklore and pull off a domestic miracle. And the momentum just keeps on building as it's another win, and it's another win against a massive side, this time 2-1 away from home at Anfield against Liverpool. And with all the excitement back in England, I completely forgot about the fact that we've been drawn against Ajax in the round of 16 in the Europa League. And judging by the fact we've got the likes of Manchester United, Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea and Juventus all in this competition, things are about to really heat up. But as I always do in my career modes, I've decided to sim the first leg, and as you can see, it's actually a pretty decent result, an acceptable result that I will take. 2-2 away from home, and even with 10 men with youngster Alcaraz getting sent off in the 27th minute. And it's quite unfortunate because with the arrival of the likes of Renato Sanchez, Guendouzi and Quinton Timber, he hasn't quite been able to reach the potential he most certainly has. Only up by +1 so far this season, and in terms of his stats, well, he's only scored 1 goal with 2 assists, and he's actually only made 2 Premier League appearances. And to be honest, I think he really needs to pull his socks up if he wants to stay with us heading into season 4. It's now time though to turn our attention back to our domestic competitions, as you can see, we've been drawn against Chelsea in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Livramento, the former Chelsea man, to kick things off for us here. Jeremy Doku down the right-hand side, back into Livramento. He's got options up ahead of him, finds Onuachu. Onuachu finds James Ward-Prowse. He almost found the back of the net, but Mendy was equal to it. Ward-Prowse to, of course, take the resulting corner, and he whips a good ball in, looking for the head of Onuachu. And that was a massive chance, but Onuachu just didn't catch it right, and it's easy for Mendy in the end. Modric into Aymar for Chelsea with the power strike. And straight at Bazunu in the end, and Ridvan Yilmaz can get the ball clear, but only out as far as Raheem Sterling. It's a really poor clearance. Can he make amends? No, he can't. Chelsea continue to press here. It's Sterling again. One of their attackers just taken out by one of my defenders, but they continue the run in the box. But Joe Gomez, our new summer signing, of course, is there. And what a monster at the back he has been for us so far this season. Renato Sanchez looks for Jeremy Doku. Really nice ball to him. Jeremy Doku comes back in, looks for Onuachu. He finds Renato Sanchez, who's just straight inches offside. Moreno once again for Chelsea, and once again Joe Gomez is there. Fantastic defending from the young man, and it's now Onuachu to bring the ball forward, and he's got the pace to get away from the Chelsea defence. Onuachu continues his run into Jeremy Doku. He tries to go around the goalkeeper, he does, and it's so easy. What on earth was Mendy doing? Went to ground too easily, and Jeremy Doku gives us the lead. Well, the fans are absolutely ecstatic, and they've got every right to be. Jeremy Doku makes it look easy, just smashes it into an empty net after a complete calamity at the back from Mendy. Graham Potter can't believe it. It's 1-0. James Ward-Prowse into Renato Sanchez. We have just under 45 minutes here to hold on and secure our path into the FA Cup final. And we've started this second half off exactly as we ended the first, on the front foot, looking for a goal here as Ridvan Yilmaz goes down the left-hand side, tries to weave his way around. Reece James does a really nice job, whips a good ball in. No one there to head it. Can Lavia get there? He can, but it goes back to my defence. Livramento, Lavia has it again. James Ward-Prowse picks it up on the edge, goes to strike. And that is an absolute shambles. Ben Chilwell was under pressure from the former Chelsea man in Livramento. Gerard Moreno tries to spray a ball across. What on earth was my defence doing? And Bazunu was out just in time. Defence fell asleep there. Chelsea starting to ramp the pressure up a little bit here as we hit the hour mark in the second half. It's flung across by Aymar, straight into the hands of Bazunu, and he says thank you very much. Renato Sanchez skips away from the challenge of Enzo Fernandez. Really nice stuff from him. James Ward-Prowse now across to Ridvan Yilmaz. We've got options ahead. Can't find one, and Reece James there with a thumping challenge. And Tammy Abraham, who's back at Chelsea now, challenged by Joe Gomez. We go again. End-to-end stuff here at St Mary's, and we just can't find the final pass to thread it through the back line as Chelsea continue to attack into Aymar. It's Enzo Fernandez who's on as a substitute, who's now got acres of space in the centre of the park to find a ball back to Aymar. He's got Pogba Pogba, of all people, on the left-hand side, whips a good ball in. It's headed away yet again from Joe Gomez, who has been an absolute monster at the back. Kalmadine Sulemana to try and break here. We've got a counter-attacking opportunity here, but John Stones with a thumping challenge. And again, it's 5 minutes remaining to hold on here. Alcaraz looks for James Ward-Prowse again. A nice touch and turn. Sulemana's come deep. Sulemana can't find a way past John Stone, who's been very, very good since coming on. Raheem Sterling's got the pace to drive away from James Ward-Prowse, but he's well tracked. Goes back to Reece James. Enzo Fernandez yet again for Chelsea. Joe Gomez trying to put a challenge in. Not good enough, but he does manage to intercept. That man has been an absolute wall at the back today as the referee blows the whistle for full time. The fans are absolutely ecstatic and they've got every right to be. Raheem Sterling cannot believe it. It was a game that Chelsea must have thought they could win. But yet again, Southampton continue to surprise us and we put ourselves into the semi-final of the FA Cup. And we are back to back here with the play games as we go from one massive game straight into another one as we welcome Ajax to St Mary's once again for the second leg of the Europa League round of 16. Oh, lovely ball into Akambi here, and Akambi's got acres of space to run into here. Livramento desperately trying to trap back. Unfortunately enough, he does have the pace to do so. In the end, Ajax go back to Windal on the left-hand side. He's twisting and turning, finds Akambi again, who strikes, and that is a mammoth save from Bazunu. Well, with the scores being 2-2 from the first leg, it is all to play for in this second leg, and the team that can get the first goal will put themselves in a commanding position to really take control of this tie, and Ajax were inches away from giving themselves the lead. Guendouzi looks for Skov Olsen on the right-hand side, in for Jeremy Doku. Lovely ball into Renato Sanchez. He's got space to run into. Can he find Onuachu? He can. Onuachu takes it. Onuachu strikes with his left and just drags it wide. Skov Olsen, oh, beautiful ball into Tino Livramento. Can he find a good ball back into the box? James Ward-Prowse went for an audacious overhead kick. It's into Renato Sanchez, who volleys it past the goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead. Well, it was James Ward-Prowse who went for the audacious, and it was an audacious flick from the defender. Ended up going into the path of Onuachu, and Renato Sanchez really snatched at that volley, to be completely honest. If we check it out on the replay, just hits it into the ground, and the keeper really should have done better for Ajax. The fans will be furious with him, but I don't care. As we take a 1-0 lead, it's 3-2 on aggregate. Windal to try and burst down the left-hand side, trying to skip away from Livramento, does a really good job. Brobby into Consal, into Klassen here. Ajax looking for an equaliser straight away, and they're doing a really good job. Bazunu again, he has been on fire as of late. Windal here with the throw for Ajax. Where is he going to go? Instead goes straight to Skov Olsen, who says thank you very much, and then bursts past the challenge of the midfielder and continues his run. Can he go past the final defender? No, he can't. Just took one touch too many. Guendouzi's going to lift this one across to the right-hand side to Skov Olsen. He's got an overlapping run of Livramento, and he's found him. He's found him beautifully. Livramento continues to go in. Onuachu into Sulemana, and Sulemana goes into the back of the net to give us a 2-0 lead. The fans, of course, are absolutely ecstatic yet again. It is fantastic play. This time it's down the right-hand side. Skov Olsen into Livramento. He took his time, found Onuachu, who found Sulemana, who got himself ahead of the final defender at the back post, caught him sleeping, and smashed it past the goalkeeper. It's 4-2 on aggregate. Into Klassen here. Klassen's going to try and bring this one forward. Doesn't. Gives it away. Joe Gomez into Onuachu. We're going to search for a third goal here. Can we find it? It's Kalmadine Sulemana who takes it onto his right, shifts it into the centre, ends up losing a little bit of momentum as the Ajax players crowd him out. Renato Sanchez back into Guendouzi though, who strikes, and he forces the goalkeeper into a big save. James Ward-Prowse to take the resulting corner, and we are looking to put the cherry on top of the cake here as Skov Olsen heads it straight against the defender. Is headed away here out to Bella Kotchev. If we can add a third, we will well and truly put this game to bed. And James Ward-Prowse tries to lift it in the box. It's a poor ball. It's away from Ajax. Ajax have less than 10 minutes remaining here to try and find some sort of route back into the game. Conceição with the quick footwork to try and get away from Joe Gomez. Bremer strikes. It's against the defender. Carl Walker-Peters will get it clear. Klassen into Brobby. Out wide to De Jong on the left-hand side. Back into Brobby. Nice footwork. Bazunu yet again with another flying save, and this time he holds on to it just to relieve the pressure even more. Truffert finds himself in the centre of the park, gives it to the substitute Broja. Broja's going to go out wide, finds Carl Walker-Peters on the right hand side. Can I try and flick it in? I've got Skov Olsen on the left hand side at the back post. Almost reached it with his head, just couldn't get there. It's headed over to the left-hand side by James Ward-Prowse. Not quite sure that was, but it does not matter because the fans are rightly ecstatic as the referee blows the whistle for full-time. Ajax cannot quite believe the atmosphere here at St Mary's. They are shell-shocked. They cannot believe it. It is another 2-0 win, another fantastic performance from that man, Kalmadine Sulemana. And Southampton go sailing into the quarter-finals of the Europa League. And yes, as a team, we we are playing fantastically, but I do have to give a quick shout out to this man, Gavin Bazunu, up by 3 points to 83, and at 23 years of age, he 100% has the potential to be an absolute superstar in waiting for Southampton. 37 appearances, 13 clean sheets, 7.515 rating in the Premier League. What an unbelievable season from the young Irishman. And it goes without saying that the arrival of this man, Joe Gomez, has played a massive role in the upturn in form of Bazunu, and certainly in the uptake of form of this man, Bella Kochuk. Yes, he's only up by 2 to 83, but his performances so far this season have been sensational, and he has formed a formidable partnership with Joe Gomez, and hopefully it can lead us to domestic and European glory. However, we come crashing back down to earth with a bang, and in spite of Leicester City being away from home and going down to 10 men in the first half, somehow we throw away all the positive momentum and we end up losing 2-1. Fortunately though, we are able to get right back on track courtesy of another goal from Calvin Sulemana and a late one from Renato Sanchez to give us a 2-0 win and a much needed 3 points. And that win has clearly lifted the spirits yet again as we get back-to-back wins once again, with a goal from Renato Sanchez, 2 goals from Renato Sanchez and a late one from Broja to secure a 3-1 win at home to Bournemouth. But the big news is, after beating Ajax 4-2 in the round of 16 of the Europa League, we have been drawn in the quarter-final, a mammoth clash against Juventus. And with English and German giants Manchester United, Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund respectively all still in this cup competition, it is going to be a monumental ask for us to go the distance. And is this where our luck is about to run out? After a tight and cagey affair at St Mary's, Juventus take a 1-0 lead back to Italy, and we've got it all to do in the second leg. And perhaps that loss has had a knock-on effect to our momentum in the league as we succumb to another loss. This time it's away from home against Leeds United, and just when Renato Sanchez thought he'd levelled the scores and at least got us a point, it's Julian Alvarez, who now plies his trade in Leeds, managed to secure a late victory, and we drop 3 points again. And it means things are getting even tighter at the top. Yes, we do have a game in hand with only 7 games remaining, but City have closed the gap to just 1 point between us, and with the likes of Manchester United and City still to play in this Premier League campaign, our title challenge is going to go right down to the wire. But now though, it is time for our final game of the episode, and what a game to finish on. A massive game in Juventus against Italian giants as we look to secure passage to the next round of the Europa League in a mammoth second leg tie. Hostage to take the throw into Adrian Rabiot now, trying to twist away from Bella Kochuk, but he's out, pressing high and winning the ball back high up the pitch as Jeremy Doku can release on Uachu, who turns nicely, going to try and lift this one right over into Calvin Sulemana. He hasn't got the right timing to get there, but we do manage to pick it back up with Guendouzi. Renato Sanchez to strike with the outside of his foot, and he is inches away from getting us back on level aggregate terms here. Livramento looks for Jeremy Doku up ahead of him, who comes deep to collect it, and he's got an option of Sulemana on the left-hand side. He finds him with a wonderful ball, and he can try and find James Ward-Prowse, but it's good defending from Bremer. Juventus get it clear. And Gomez trying to skip away from the challenge of Dan Juma, and he's done a really good job of doing so, and James Ward-Prowse has done a really good job of finding some space in the centre of the park, and he finds a wonderful ball into Calvin Sulemana, who tries to shift it onto his right, and he just didn't take the right touch, and some heavy-handed defending from Juventus in the end, but they just about managed to get the ball clear. And I've got a sense that this is going to be a theme of the game, a stubborn Italian fence just unwilling to relent, and I think we're in for a very long and hard game here in Italy. Camavinga in acres of space in the centre of the park, absolutely no one putting a challenge in on him. Palazon again, this time it's Joe Gomez who does put a challenge in, and Joe Gomez to try an audacious run up the pitch, finds Onuachu, finds Calvin Sulemana. Joe Gomez is still going here. Joe Gomez into the box, cuts it back to Onuachu, and it's straight at the goalkeeper in the end, but he manages to tower ahead of the centre-back and give us a 1-0 lead. Well, I thought the chance was gone when he smashed it straight at the goalkeeper, but he ended up just ballooning it in the air, and he got ahead of the defender. What on earth? A complete mismatch of communication there between the goalkeeper and the defender. Onuachu took advantage, headed home, and he gets us back on level terms. Sanchez, Livramento, Juventus defending deep off the back of a corner here, and James Ward-Prowse picks it up to strike with his left. Straight at the goalkeeper. Guendouzi into Onuachu. Can I try and find a ball to Jeremy Doku on the right-hand side? I can. He nods it back down to Renato Sanchez. He gives it to Onuachu. Onuachu into Guendouzi, who strikes with his left. forces the goalkeeper into a good save. Well, with just 30 minutes remaining and the score's all level, this is anyone's for the taking here as James Ward-Prowse whips a good ball in. Looked for the head of Jeremy Doku, but couldn't quite find it. Kalmadin Suleimana will pick the ball up again. He's got the pace to drive away from the defenders. He's got no room to go, though. In the end, has to go back. Renato Sanchez, twists away from a defender beautifully there. Not even sure if I meant to do that, but Guendouzi again strikes from the edge of the box. The goalkeeper beats it away. Romento. It's Guendouzi. He's got Kalmadin Suleiman on the left-hand side, who overlapping him has got Truffert. Truffert's going to try and cut this back into Renato Sanchez. And I got the shot all wrong. And that is a big let-off for Juventus there. Rabiot out wide to Kostic. Kostic, has he got the pace to try and go past my defenders? No, he doesn't. Cuts back in. Rabiot picks it up again. Nice footwork to get away from Livramento. Into Vlahovic again. And Joe Gomez, once again, is in the right place at the right time. And now we can try and launch a counter-attack. Bit of a block in our momentum there, but that is a wonderful ball over to Jeremy Doku. I'm going to try and fire this back into Onuachu with the head. What a save. I've just subbed off James Ward-Prowse. It's going to be Guendouzi who's going to be taking this corner, and he's going to whip it in, looking for the head of the other substitute, Scovolson. Couldn't quite get there. Joe Gomez is up, though. Guendouzi's got a second chance here to whip it back in. Looks for Scovolson, and Scovolson just on as a substitute with only his second touch of the game. Gives us a 2-0 lead. Well, with just 5 minutes remaining on this game, Juventus at the back just fell asleep. And it was a ball in the second time of asking from Guendouzi. And Scovolson, who I thought had just drifted into an offside position, managed to get himself ahead on the right side of Bremer, just to head it past the goalkeeper. It is 2-0 here to Southampton, and we have 1 foot into the semi-final. Malakocha trying to skip away from some pressure from the Juventus attackers. It's backs to the wall stuff here, but Renato Sanchez now releases Scovolson on the right-hand side, and Juventus, in their effort to try and power plays forward, they've left acres of space, and Quinton Timber, another substitute who's just come on, makes them pay, and within a blink of an eye, he celebrates in front of all the rest of the Southampton players. We are going through to the semi-final of the Europa League. Well, look at the celebrations from the Southampton fans and players. They cannot quite believe that we are about to knock out the Italian giants in Juventus. But we do it all on merit, because that was another sensational piece of play. And Quinton Timber with his left foot, who's been out in the cold for a lot of Season 3, comes in when I need him to, gives us a vital goal and sends us through to the next round. Well, the Juventus players looked absolutely shell-shocked as the referee blows the whistle for full time. They cannot quite believe they have lost 3-0 in their own stadium to a lowly Southampton team. But it's a Southampton team that have been on absolute fire here in Season 3, top of the Premier League table, into the next round of the FA Cup, and now into the next round of the Europa League, and is a potential treble on the cards here today. And after Chelsea surprisingly were dumped out of the competition by PSV, we have been drawn against other Premier League title challengers, Manchester United, in what is going to be a fantastic all-English semi-final clash. And with Burnley in the FA Cup semi-final, we have another fantastic opportunity to get to the final again. But with Manchester City now going top of the Premier League table, 2 points clear of us, but with 2 games in hand and 7 games remaining, things are going to go down to the wire in what is going to be a fantastic season finale. Thanks everyone for watching today, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.